Hello everyone, welcome back to my investment webinar. Today we are going to talk about buying first investment home with only 5% down. Thank you everyone for coming back today. Specifically, we are going to talk again about the 7 baby steps to buy your first investment property now with only 5% down. I know this is so crazy because most of the time when you buy investment property, you do have to have a 20% down. Yes, it is true in some situation, but in this case, I'm specifically, this video is going to be for the one that newer to investing, right? And they don't have a lot of capital. So I just want to share with you some trick that we can apply as well. And using this 7 baby step could help you get the first investment property for only 5% down. And let's dive right into the first baby step. All right, the first baby step is actually only saving $1,000. Now that seems like why $1,000, right? So the thing is that when you don't have any property, like I said in the beginning, this video is specifically for newer investor, right? So when you don't have any property, you're probably renting or you're probably living with your parents, your uncles, your friends, right? Sharing a room. Now, moving to owning a property requires a lot of responsibility. One of which is going to be financial responsibility, right? Because you own a house, you're responsible for all the maintenance, and you have to have the money set aside for those maintenance required. Okay, for those maintenance needed. Okay, for the maintenance need. Okay, so this 1,000 is right here. The key goal of this one is just an easy, straightforward step for you to get organized financially, okay, to prepare for you, to prepare for the future that that you have to encounter when you own a real property, right? This is an easy step. It's not too difficult. I'm not asking you to save like 10,000 or 20,000 or some amount, crazy amount in first step, right? Just 1,000 to prove to yourself that you are the responsible person, right? Because if you are not, then don't buy a property. Just fully transparent like that with you. You have to be a responsible person to be able to buy a house because there's going to be a lot of work. Trying to not scare you away from owning a house, but owning a house needs a lot of work. And this start with this 1,000 right here, right? The 1,000 is a seed, right? It's like a seed into your mind that these are the things that you could do to help you obtaining a good property in the future. Okay, save $1,000. The next step you have to do is to pay off your bad debt. Okay, which is considered a bad debt, right? Student loans, car loans, especially car loans, right? Credit card, personal loan, any loans that require you to pay interest, right? Any loan that require you to pay interest but do not make any money for you. Okay, those are the things like, but when you buy a car with a car loan, right, you have to pay interest on a depreciated property, a car, right? The car is reduce the values as you drive it. The more you drive it, the value of the car drop, right? So you have to pay interest on top of the reduced value property, right? A credit card, you don't like when you spend a credit card, yes, you get the stuff. However, you have to pay interest and that's it, right? That stuff, if it turn out creating benefit for you, then it's good. But if not, in general, it's not grocery, food, right? So those are the bad debt. Now, $20,000, $30,000 paid off. Okay. Why? The reason is that when you if you like other people, right, you're probably gonna need a mortgage. Okay, you're probably gonna need a mortgage to be able to buy a house. So to be able to buy a house, beside income, and we can talk about that later on as well. But the reason is that when you qualify for the loan, they need to look at your income and your debt. Okay, the less bad debt you have at the time that you do the qualification, the more mortgage loan that you can obtain. And I'm saying, like, why are you telling me to get rid of the bad debt, the credit card debt, the car debt, and then telling me to go into another debt? That's a great question, right? Now, the reason is that buying a house using the mortgage is actually helping you, because housing in general is an appreciated asset. Okay, so yes, you have to pay the interest on that property. However, though, as you go by, as long time pass, the home value, the value of the house actually increase, and you end up have a bigger assets, a more profitable assets to you. Okay, so the mortgage is considered a good debt. Okay, in that definition. Okay, so the smaller the debt, a smaller bad debt amount that you have, the better chance, the bigger mortgage that you can obtain. I'm not saying that you have to utilize 100%, right? 100% of your mortgage capability, mortgage, the ability to have mortgage, right? But you want to be the highest possible, so that if you end up have a house that you want, this is not one of the reasons to stop you from doing that. Okay, so prepare for this right now. It could take you. It really depends on you, right? 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, or a year, right? It's up to you to do that. But take time on this process, because this is going to be the very most difficult. And that is the reason why step one is important as well. Anytime that you feel down, anytime that you feel discouraged, remember how you put 1,000 together in the saving account, right? So that you can create some encouragement for step number two. And hey, and by the way, don't use 1,000 for this, okay? The 1,000 could be set aside, and that could have another purpose for the future. Okay. Step number three is, this is fun, actually the fun part. Save for 5% down. Okay. Why is this fun? Because this is actually the money that you are going to use to purchase the house. Okay. After you get rid of the debt, now you can save up for the money you are going to use for the down payment. Now, if you are lucky, if you have a good parents, right, you can, and then they're willing to give you that down payment for free, take it, okay? If you have a bonus, put it into this 5% down. If you win a lottery, put it in here as well for the 5% down. Now, what some of you may say, 5% down. How can I buy an investment property with 5% down? Oh, you actually not. And let's step forward. I'm gonna review that for you. Okay, why 5%? And so the next question, most of the people, the why, I already say it. Wait for step 4, right? The what? What is 5% down? Can you break it down? Okay, it really depends on the typical property in the area that you're searching for. For example, if you're looking for like a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom in Chandler, Arizona, in Phoenix, Arizona, right? You're probably looking at somewhere around $450,000 to $500,000 purchase price. So 5% of that is about $20,000 to $25,000, somewhere around that, right? So consult with your real estate agent on that matter, so that you know, okay, if this is the area I'm investing in, what is the 5% there? Knowing that, it's going to give you a clear goal. Right? You have to have a clear goal of what you are going to save up for, right? And don't do this before you pay off the debt, okay? Because I want you to forget all about the bad debt that you have and focus 100% on the down payment, okay? And that time, you're going to have much more ability to buy a house later on. Okay, now step 4 right here. The 5%, you're not gonna buy investment home. You're gonna buy a temporary primary home. Right? I emphasize the word temporary primary home. Wait a minute, Long. I thought you said that you're gonna buy a investment home. Now you're telling me to buy a primary home. I don't want to buy a primary home. I want to continue renting. Then don't buy a property. Just to be fully transparent. Because you know what? For me, in my opinion, if you haven't bought any of your own property, if you haven't gone through a buying process, okay, then you shouldn't buy an investment property anyway, because buying a house is a big asset. It's not just as simple as buying a car or buying a shirt or buying a grocery items, right? It, like I said, owning a house has a lot of responsibility, and it's a complex process. So rather than buying an investment home right away, which you're gonna have a lot of things to worry about. First of all, number one, the very first important is to make sure that it is profitable, right? Not only that, you have to worry about all the inspection is done right, all the physical general inspection is done right, all the title check is done right, everything is done right in that one. So because of that reason, I don't recommend you to buy investment property for the first one. The first property you have to buy is your primary home. Now, don't be discouraged, because I know that lots of investors, like, I want to invest right away. I want to live financial free with my investment properties. Don't you dare to encourage me to buy a primary home. Yeah, and you will. Okay, I'm not saying that you stop here. This is just the temporary primary home. Okay, however, though, keep in mind when you search for primary home, think of it as an investment home as well. And think of a reason, think of a way for you to utilize the money. That is leading to number five here. Think of it, find a property that you can share with, or you can rent out a portion of the house, right? So for example, if your family only need 3 bedrooms, then find a property that have 4 bedroom or 5 bedrooms within your price range, of course, so that you can share out the two extra bedrooms that you have in a house. Or find a house with a casita, so that you can that casita out for that person. Or even looking at duplex or triple X, so that you can live in one unit, right, and then rent out the other unit. The benefit of this is, of course, you can still all earn the whole experience becoming the landlord. Right? It's very the same. Whether you share a room or you rent out the entire house, you have to still check the income. You still have to check for the you still have to check for the you still have to check for the income. You still have to check for the credit. You still have to check for the background, right? So for that reason, you earn a lot of experience on that. Okay. Share room, find a property that you can share a room. You can still have a lot of tax benefit, all of the benefit about owning an investment home, even though you only rent a room out. So look into that. It's called house hacking strategy. Okay. The next step we are going to look at is refinance, get the cash. Why is that? After a long time you live in a property, right? Of course, during the time you're gonna make plan to save up for the next investment home. Additionally, when the time comes, when you're ready to buy the next property, you can look at the property value that you buy in step number 5, do the refinance, get the extra cash, okay? Get the extra cash and use that as a down payment for the next house. Which we are going to do is to buy the second house and rent the entire first house as a rental property. So the first house become a rental property with only 5% down, and now in step 7, you're gonna buy the second house with only 5% down as well. This second house could be another temporary primary home, or it could be your dream home, or it could be a home that you buy together with your spouse at that time. Okay, whatever you choose to be. But now at that time, at step 7, ideally, in theory, you should have 2 properties. One you can use as an investment property home, which you use 5% to down, and the second house is your temporary primary house again. Okay, and then of course you can repeat the entire process 4, 5, and 6 again and again and again for the third house, the fourth house, and the fifth house so far. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching the webinar today. If you do have any questions for me, feel free to send it over, and then I can send you all the information, all the answer that I have for you. Okay? Thank you. Have a good day.